the show. Now, I don't know about you, but by the end of the week, I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to spend a lot of time in the kitchen. You might not guess that about me. I do love to cook, obviously, but sometimes on a Friday night, I want to make something that feels ultra fancy, but takes minimal effort. So today, I wanted to show you how to make my Tilapia Piccata. So it's basically just a thin, delicious white fish, pan-fried, coated in a little bit of a dredge, and then you make a delicious pan sauce to go with it. It takes like about 10 minutes to throw together. And I know sometimes when you watch food TV, you're like, does it really take 10 minutes? Well, today we're gonna see, because I'm putting a timer on the screen. So I'm ready. I'm feeling a little stressed, but it's gonna be good. All right, so before I get started, let's get that timer up on the clock. Oh my gosh, okay, cool. And I'm starting the recipe. All right, so the first thing we've got here is some tilapia fillets. Now you can use tilapia, you could use sole, any sort of thinner fish is perfect because it's gonna cook nice and quickly. So I'm gonna season those up with a little bit of salt. Now this recipe that's written online is good for 4 fillets. I'm just working with 2 today because I put a timer on the clock and I'm clearly already nervous, so we're gonna do this thing. All right, so that's seasoned up with a little bit of salt and pepper. If you want, you can add some more spices, but I'm keeping this clean and bright and fresh. So now I wanna make the dredge that's gonna go onto there. So the first thing I need for that is a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. Basically, anytime I am making something delicate and light like a fish, I like to do a little bit of a dredge on the outside, because what that does is it makes it so that fish is less likely to break in the pan. It gives you this little bit of a buffer, and it helps build a pan sauce later on. Now for extra crisp, I am gonna add in a tablespoon of cornstarch. This is not 100% necessary, but it does give you more of a crispy outside, which is always a good thing. All right, season that up with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Also take note, I'm also chatting up, so this would probably go quicker if you could stop talking, but I really like to talk, so that's okay. All right, I'm gonna mix that up a little bit just to get that nice and combined. The flour goes nice and golden brown. Cornstarch does not, so you do want that mixture. All right, that's looking great. Now I've got a pan here over about medium-high heat. So into there, I'm gonna add about 2 teaspoons of olive oil, just enough to get a little bit of a coat on the bottom of the pan. And I'm starting with olive oil. I'm gonna switch to butter later for that pan sauce, but olive oil is great because we are cooking this at a high temperature, so we want it not to burn. So I've got my fish, I've got my dredge. It is time to pop this stuff in the pan. So I've got some tongs here, and I'm just gonna grab those fish fillets and just lightly dredge them in that flour and cornstarch mixture. That's gonna give you a nice little coating on the outside, shake off any excess, and pop those babies into that delicious oil. And you're looking for a little bit of a sizzle. You want this on about, again, medium-high heat. Because it's such a thin fish, you want a higher heat on the outside or in the pan, because essentially it's gonna give you golden brown color quicker, because this fish cooks really, really quickly. So that guy's going in too. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna add more oil in, because it's Friday. So we gotta fry it, I think. All right. Now that needs only about 2 to 3 minutes per side, just until golden and cooked through. So while that gets doing its thing, I'm gonna get to work on the shallot, the stuff that's gonna build the sauce. What are we at for time? What are we, 2:30-ish? Okay. 7.5. Oh, we got a prankster out in that audience today. All right, I'm gonna mince up a shallot. I'm just using 1 little shallot. If you could not be bothered to buy a shallot, feel free to just use like half of an onion. Any sort of onion would do. I would probably go with a red onion because I like the color, but even a white onion or a yellow onion would be beautiful. The trick is though, you wanna mince it up nice and finely, because the more finely something is chopped or the smaller something is, obviously the quicker it's gonna cook. So now, mincing things on TV, honestly, what a horrible idea, Mary Berg. Especially when you're under a pressure. All right, now I'm just gonna run my knife through that, get that nice and finely chopped up. A shallot is really, really great if you do wanna go out of your way to buy one. I love them. They kind of taste like a softer onion. They're almost like a mixture between an onion and garlic. They're really, really nice. Again, like an onion, they last for a good long time in your pantry as well, so you're good to go. All right, that shallot is nice and minced. I'm gonna check on my fish, see how it's doing. You can see that it's starting to cook because it's starting to contract a little bit. Take a little gander. No, he's not good yet. We gotta keep him going for about another, I'm gonna say 30 seconds. So while that does its thing, I'm gonna get to work on more of that veg. So for this sauce, I'm also gonna add in just a clove of garlic. Now typically, you've seen me do it before, I would just rasp this straight on into that pan when it's time. But today, we're doing a bit of a mise en place, getting things ready before they actually have to go in the pan. Because even though it feels like you're doing an extra step, what I'm doing is I'm using time that fish needs to cook. So I'm just like, you know, getting stuff done. Feels like an extra step, but it's not. Also, you feel fancy and like a chef, which is always a good thing. All right, garlic is good to go. Looking delish. This fish is gonna be good to flip over. Now, it is still a delicate fish, so just get your little spatula underneath and give it a bit of a flip. Look at that. This is a good thing, I'm not gonna lie. I'm feeling good. What's the timer at? What are we at? 4:40? Okay, good, we're going well. So that's gonna need another 2 to 3 minutes on that other side. While that does its thing, I'm gonna make a little bit of a mixture of some lemon zest and lemon juice. So I've got 2 whole lemons here, because I like lemons a lot. And I love that bright flavor of the zest on the outside. So I'm just gonna zest that on into a bowl. And that's gonna give you that bright, like sweet lemon flavor. It tastes pure lemony, it's so good. When you're zesting, you wanna avoid most of that white pith because that tastes a little bit bitter, where the yellow outside is just sweet and delicious and kind of just tastes like sunshine, and it goes so, so well with fish. All right, get that zested in. I'm feeling good on time. I've never realized zesting takes 30 seconds, but that's okay. All right, now I'm gonna cut those babies in half, and I'm gonna add the juice of both of those lemons into that bowl with that zest. All right, guys, I'm feeling good about this, okay. All right, add that on in. You can catch those pips, or you can just tell your guests to avoid them. You only have 10 minutes. You can deal with the seed, it's fine. All right, get that in there. That fish is looking delicious. It's just the lightest, that's the hardest lemon I've ever squeezed in my life. It's the lightest golden brown. Try to get a softer lemon. I feel like this is a prank to make it take longer. Last time we did this, the camera operators all took a bet on how long this would take, so I feel like someone's messing with me. All right, we've got that juice in there. I'm gonna go check on my fish. There we go. Take a little gander on the underside. Beautiful, little bit of golden brown. When it's cooked, it feels firm. So I'm just gonna set those little babies aside. This is looking delicious. And now we're gonna start building our pan sauce. So in this pan, we've got a little bit of that oil. We also have some of that dredge that has fallen off. That's that flour and cornstarch. So essentially, we kind of have a little bit of a roux in here, which is gonna thicken things up. Now, to oil, I like to add a little bit of butter, because butter is delicious and it's delicious flavor. So I'm gonna toss in about a tablespoon of butter into that pan, just to melt down. Now I'm gonna pop in those shallots. So again, we mise en place, I got them all prepped and ready to go. Pop those babies in. I know, right? It's a good thing. Little bit of salt, little bit of pepper. And since I minced them nice and fine, those are gonna take maybe a minute to cook down. You just want a little bit of color immediately. It smells amazing. You get that shallot flavor, and you can see the butter is thickening up a little bit because of that flour in there. Now I'm gonna add in my garlic, because that is gonna be perfect. Just pick that stuff up, pop it in the pan. Now I always add garlic later than an onion or a shallot, because it cooks down a lot quicker. So this only needs about 30 seconds in that pan. Already, I'm not gonna lie, if I just put this fish in this pan, I'd eat it. It would be wonderful. But I'm gonna make this into a sauce. So at this point, I wanna deglaze and kind of start building that sauce. And the first thing I need is a little bit of wine. And we're going with I know, again, it's Friday. What are you doing? So I'm gonna add in about a 1/4 cup of a dry white wine. This is the wine that I usually just have hanging around my fridge. A Tuesday wine, a nice, like, good tasting wine that isn't too expensive. That's the one you wanna use for cooking. So add in about a 1/4 cup of that into that pan. Y'all, this is good. I'm very excited. And almost immediately, that cooks down. It's thickening up. It's almost evaporated. So now I'm gonna go in with my lemon zest and my lemon juice that I got all prepped earlier. Again, watch out for the seeds, but that's okay. Now that is gonna just come together into a beautiful sauce. But again, since it is Friday, we're going a little rich, so I'm gonna add in more butter. Now this is how you make a nice little pan sauce. I'm gonna add in another 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter. I know, it's gonna be good. And you just wanna, this is gonna be a good Friday, I'm not gonna lie. How are we doing on time? How are we doing on time? 8:40, okay, cool, perfect, love it. All right. Add that butter in. Let that just melt down. We see it kind of thickening up. It's gonna be absolutely dreamy. Now, while that's doing its thing, I have time to get a salad. So I'm gonna go to my fridge. What do I got, a minute left? Yeah, I can do this. Okay, I got some lettuce here. We're feeling good. I'm gonna pop it into a bowl. My favorite thing to do with the salad, it feels very fancy. Just toss your lettuce in, little bit of the world's toughest lemon right on top, little bit of olive oil, some salt, and you are good to go. What do I got? Ooh, I'm under a minute left. Okay, we're feeling good. I've got that sauce, it is almost done. The last thing I need is to add in some capers, some briny, salty capers. Ooh, I'm getting nervous, okay. About 3 tablespoons of those. Then I'm gonna toss in a little bit of parsley. Some fresh parsley will be an absolute dream. No time for chopping today. We're just ripping it in. Add it in, give it a stir. All that butter has melted together. Now I just gotta plate this baby up. Is the kitchen a mess? Yes. But that's okay. So grab that fish, pop it down. What do we got left? Oh, 10 seconds, okay. Pop that fish down.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.